Hey guys, welcome back to Au Pair Sweden. Today I will be giving you guys 10 questions and things that you should definitely ask your host family before you arrive to Sweden or to their country, whichever one that is. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Camilla, and let's get started, okay? The first thing I think you should ask, or I mean, it doesn't really matter what order, but the first question I have here is for them to describe each kid in a few words. And I say a few words because I think sometimes it's harder describing people in concisely than in a long paragraph, and I think that gives you, or in my opinion, I think that gives you a better understanding of their personalities, and I think that's really helpful since you will be spending most of your time with the children, most likely. So I put that in there. The second thing I have here is, how does a typical day look at your home? And this is just to give you an idea of what their lifestyle is and how you will fit into that, how much they will need you and for what things specifically. So I think that's very nice to know how you fit in with them. The third thing, and I am looking at a list here because I don't want to forget certain questions for this video. The third thing I have here is, how will your living situation be? And this to me means like, will you have your own room next to the children? Will you have your own room away from the rest of the family? Will you be in your separate apartment, to say it like that? Will you have your own floor? For me personally, I am on my own floor. I have my own kitchen, living room, bathroom, and all that. So it's my space. And I quite like that because you need time for yourself. As much as you love the children, as much as you like the family, sometimes we need me time. So that to me is very nice. So the fourth question I have put here is, what activities or what kind of activities could you do with the children to bond? And this gives you, before you arrive, this kind of lets you figure out what they like, and it lets them see that you can do things that they like, and they'll like you better for that. They're gonna be like, oh, he likes this, like me, I like that person. Not necessarily, but I think that gives you a head start with the kids and helps you bond better from the beginning, and you don't have to spend a whole week trying to figure out what they like. So put that in there as well. Fifth, house rules. What are their house rules? Because even if you don't have to follow them all the time, you will have to follow them around their kids, because you don't want to set a bad example and the parents not be happy about the fact that their child is complaining on why you get to do certain things that they don't. That helps you avoid conflict from the beginning on certain areas. You'll probably have your own house rules, like things that you can and cannot do at their house. For example, if you can bring people over, if you have to tell them exactly where you go, when, and I don't know, if you can have alcohol in the house. I don't know. You never know what people expect you to do or to not do, so it's better just to know before you arrive. Number 6 is, will you have to clean, cook, etc., and how much? Just because you want to be prepared and you want to know what light housekeeping means. because it may mean something for certain people and maybe something totally different for another person. So just keep that in mind, and I think that will go a long way, just so you know what you are expected to do, because expectations can be tricky, or it has been for me a little bit, I think. So I think that's something that will be really nice to know before you arrive. Um, Number 7, how will weekends work? How is their typical weekend? And that gives you an idea on if you have to work the weekends, what days you have free, the things that they do, and just if your lifestyle really fits in with theirs. Because you have to think about this. You don't just have to please them. I mean, you want them to be happy, but you also want to be happy. You want to be able to be with a family that kind of aligns with what you like and what you look for. So there you go. And then number 8 that I put here is, could they describe a little bit their neighborhood or their city, just so you have an idea of what's around, what you can do, how you can, if you can get out of the house with the kids, if there's parks. For me, I have found it nice that sometimes it's just good to walk around the block and get fresh air, and then you come back and you're a whole new person, and you're like, okay, I got this. And you can take the kids with you to a park and they can play around, they can have fun. You're not just in the house, because sometimes you'll find yourself just, oh, it's easy to stay here and do something with them in the house, but it's nice for them. They'll like going out and they'll appreciate it, and I think you can get a lot out of it as well. Number 9, sorry, is how often will you get paid and how will that work? I know this may be awkward. You probably won't want to ask that on your Skype interview. How I did it, because I did ask some of these questions on my Skype interview. I was nervous, I was excited, I forgot a lot of things that I wanted to ask, honestly. So then I sent them a message and I was like, here's a few things that I would like to know beforehand, just whenever you have the time, don't feel pressured to do it right now. And I would add that in there. You do need to know how often you will get paid, because you need to plan. Will you get paid once a month? Will you get paid twice a month? How will that work? Are they going to give you cash? Are you going to have a card, like a debit card or a credit card? Just so you have a better idea. You're going to have some money probably until the first time you get paid. So you need to plan how much money will you need until you get paid. So I think that's something that they understand, that you will need to know that, but I understand that that's something that can be very awkward when having your first interview or second, even your third interview. So it's sometimes just nicer to write it down and then have an answer later whenever they have time. So, and the 10th thing, and I cannot stress this enough, this is very important, guys, very important. Get a schedule. Get a damn schedule. Get it. Just tell them I would like to have somewhat a schedule, because I want to know how things are going to be. Wherever you're going, I'm sure it's because you are interested in that place. You want to see it, you want to explore, meet people, make friends, have lunch with friends, or whatever. So you kind of need to know when you're on and when you're off. That way you know when you can plan things. And sometimes when you don't have one, it's blurry, if you're working or if you're not. And if you don't have a schedule, it's like you're always on, or you always have to be ready to be on. So having a schedule, and believe me, I didn't at first, and it was not really working out for me. It's very, 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 very nice, very important. Please request one, get one, and tell them, oh, I get life happens, and sometimes things may not work how this is. So I want to have a general idea of how things are going to work until I get there, and then we can figure it out better. So get a schedule. And I'm sorry I'm saying this a lot, but get a schedule. This is for your own good, I promise. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm just here to help things go smoother with your process. So these are the 10 questions I have for you today, and we'll be making a second video with another 10 questions that I believe you should ask your host family prior to coming to their home. So that will be posted soon, I believe, I hope. So if you guys like this video, please like it, and you should definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you guys know when I post more things, like the next 10 questions to this list. So there you go. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.